Again, welcome everybody to TCB Masterclass number 4, how to max out your day with our speaker, guest speaker, Kesha. And to begin, let's have a small ice breaking. Let's introduce each other. So since we have a smaller number, I think we can have a chance for everybody to have a talk, to have a little introduction of yourselves in the beginning. So hello everybody, I'm Dat. I'm from Vietnam and I'm a member of TCB and I am your host MC today. And welcome everybody to TCB Masterclass. So I will just ask you guys some simple questions here to introduce ourselves, okay? So let's start with these two. Are you seeing the screen? Are you able to see my screen sharing? Please feel free to turn on your mic and talk. Okay, we have a reaction from Tao saying she is able to see. Very good. So I will just ask everybody to share what's your nickname, what's your name, where you're from, and what do you enjoy doing every day in your life. Okay, so may I ask Imran, are you there? Imran? I hope that I didn't pronounce your name incorrectly. Oh, he disappeared. Okay. How about you, Shay? Nice to meet you. I think you're on mute. I cannot hear you, Shay.
There we go. Yep.
Hi. So
Hi. How you doing?
How you doing? So where are you from?
I'm from Australia. Spent quite a bit of time in Southeast Asia. What do I like doing every day? I'm currently building my own business and working extremely hard. Here to support Kesha and have a good listen.
Oh, so you're an acquaintance of Kesha. Nice to meet you. Okay, okay, let's have another person. Are you there too? Are you with us? Hi. So can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Tu, and I'm from Vietnam. About what I enjoy doing in my life, so I think I really love hanging out with my friends, like eating together or going to the cinemas, just enjoying every day. So I think that's what I love.
All right, thank you. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. So we have Shay from Australia. We have two from Vietnam. Let's see who else we have. Tao Gil, are you there? If you're able to turn your camera as well, we would really appreciate it.
Sorry, I can't open my camera today. So.
Okay, so that's all right. So can you introduce yourself a bit?
Okay, so my name is Tao, and I'm currently the third-year student at the Foreign Trade University in Vietnam. And it's great that I can join a lot of master classes and events from TCB, and thank you guys a lot about that. And hello guys.
Yeah, thank you, Tao. Thank you for joining us every time in every master classes. We really appreciate your cooperation and your help with us. Okay, so we have another question for everybody. So the COVID has been holding us back in our rooms with the quarantine. So just a question to all of you. What would you want to try with your friends after this when you have more time? Maybe something new, something different, something challenging. Okay. So for me, I would want to try going, I'm in Japan right now. I'm studying in Japan. I'm third year in a university called APU. And after COVID, I would want to go to Tokyo because my school is my university is in another place, not near Tokyo at all. So I have never been there. So I would want to try that. So how about you? Okay, so Tao, Phương Thảo, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah, so what would be your answer?
I think I also want to try, I also want to travel to new places with my friends after the COVID ends. And also, I also want to go back to Vietnam because I'm also studying in Japan. And I really want to go back to my country.
Nice. I'm really sorry to hear that you haven't been able to go back to your country. So I really hope that you can go back and meet your families and friends. Okay, another question. Oh, this is an easy one. Are you an introvert or an extrovert? Okay, so everybody, if you are an extrovert, please raise your hand using the Zoom function. Or you can raise your hand like that. Yeah, I'm an extrovert. Me, myself. Okay, 3 extroverts in the room. Anybody else? If there's nobody else, then I guess everybody is an introvert then. Okay, that's interesting. We have a lot of different personalities in the talk show today, so I believe we can share a lot of valuable things today. Okay, so that's actually the last question for the ice breaking. So we will not keep you waiting for any longer. Let's start the masterclass number 4, how to max out your day with our speaker, Kesha. So before we start, let me remind you a little bit about the guidelines today. Please turn off your mic when you're not speaking, but whenever you have anything to share, please turn on your mic. We really recommend you to turn on your webcam because we want to see you face to face to talk to you. And if you have question or if you answers to our question, please answer in the chat box. There's a guy named Q&A. He's the TCB staff. So if you have any question, just send it to him and he will send it to me. And during the Q&A session, our speaker will answer your questions. And lastly, we hope for your cooperation because our session today will be recorded for our YouTube channel. So other people who cannot join today can also see what we have discussed. So we're TCB, Tasty Culture Bites, and we are here to empower you, empower people in English communication skills and global citizenship. We're from Sydney, and we have spread it to a lot of places. Japan, Vietnam, Indonesia, USA, a lot of places. So we hope that we can all share the opportunities of learning to people from different classes, from different countries. And I'm TCB host, TCB MC. I'm studying in Japan. I'm 3rd year. I'm studying marketing. And I'm here to help you guys talk easier and more fluent and more smoothly with our guest speaker. And today we are welcoming our great speaker, Luan-Chen Kesha. She is amazing. She is thoughtful. She's experienced and she's here to share with you a lot of experiences today. Let's have an applause to our speaker, Kesha.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming in today. Hi, Che. Literally, okay, I think before I wanted to go into and introduce myself, I want to share with you an experience just literally 10 minutes before this talk. So the Zoom link that we sent out, it did not work. So, okay, at the moment, what should we do? And then literally it's remind me of the moment of, so event plus response equal outcome. So, okay, so the link did not work. What should we respond to this happening at this moment? So I decided to text Matthew, the host here, suggesting a solution of what we can do. And Matthew was just so calm and solve all the problem and send out all the links to you guys. And now we have this sections going on. So yeah, really thank you TCB team for just really hustling it in the last moment and bring it to life. And I'm very thankful that everyone come to join the talk tonight. I have been living in different countries and I got connected with Gary, the organizer of TCB. And we decided that, okay, how about we just host a talk talking about max out our day. For me, currently, I'm living in Japan and I'm working at Samsung in e-commerce right now. My life purpose, I think this has been coming quite clear to me just recently, and that's come to 2 things. It's, I totally believe that in life, there's a things happen to us, but we can be the creator of the life that we want to live. And for me, it's about creating a freedom and an impactful life and have more people. And just general about me, what I love gym, I love to work out, I love reading, I have a 200% love for my family, food, travel, and people around me as well. So yeah, really look forward to the talk tonight. And I think it's a very good context that we have quite a small pool tonight. So it's going to be very interactive and really wish that everyone can just turn on their camera and you can just talk to me and Dad here tonight.
Okay, thank you, Kesha, for the introduction. So we can all see that Kesha is an amazing person with a really extrovert kind of personality. She's always willing to share, willing to change, willing to try, willing to challenge. And yes, we're here today to hear about her experiences, how to max out our days, just like Kesha did. Okay. So,
but I think before going to this, what do you think that if we just ask everyone like what is their perceptions of what is max out your day, what does it mean to them?
Yeah, so if you notice in all the marketing materials, all the posters you have seen, we always talk about how to max out your day. The main topic, how to max out. What does it mean? So I have a question for everybody. So what is your first thought, your first impression of the word max out? What do you think is the meaning of that? Okay, anybody can share. What is your impression when you hear that word? Okay, can I have Thảo Kiều? Are you there still?
Yeah. Quickly thinking, I think that is like in the same time, but you know how to I mean, take advantage of all the minutes of what you are doing, and make it really like effectively. Yeah, I think so.
Yep. Okay, so how to make the best use of your time, right? If I take the essence of it. Cool, thanks Thảo. Yep.
Okay, I've seen an answer from Gary from the chat box. So Gary, can you open your mic and share a bit? You're on mute, Gary.
Yeah. How to max out your day. I think the most important thing to keep in mind is time. Everyone has the same 24 hours, and some people can make an hour count a lot more than another person. And then again, some people might cram a lot into a day and call it productive, but I also think there's quality over quantity. So I think, maxing out your day, it's really up to you whether you feel fulfilled in what you've achieved during that day.
Oh, thank you, Gary, for your really thoughtful answer.
Yeah.
Okay. So Kesha, give us the answer. What is your definition of the max out concept?
Yeah, I think it's both really combinations of what you have heard so far. To me, max out means we only have one life. So it's really wise to live it the best we can and live just to the highest potential of ourselves and make the best out of the time we have, make the best out of the situation we have. And especially during this COVID time, like a lot of us can just be, it's just so easy to just blame like, okay, because of the virus, so I can't do this, I can't do that. I had to cancel all my plan or my projects, for example. But if you take another approach, and then how can you be the victor over the victim of the situation and make the best out of it? Just make the most out of any situation in your life and turn it into something that you want. And I think that's the meaning of max out. Yeah, and I really agree with Gary as well that it's not just about always being busy. Being busy doesn't mean that you are being progressive. So doing the right things, make the best out of all the situation you have and the circumstances you have. Yeah. So I think
yeah.
So that's why I'm very passionate on this topic so far, and was reading a book from Ed Milet. It's called Max Out. So just really excited to share with everyone tonight.
Thank you so much, Kesha, for your answer. Okay, so we can see that max out means so it's okay to have ups and downs in our life, but it's a reaction to it. Are we gonna max out the ups? Are we gonna max out the downs? That's up to us, and that's our decision. So let's take a look at our current situation. So the world have been experiencing this pandemic, the COVID-19, the corona, and it's just horrible. We have seen a lot of bad news around the world, and the situation maybe is going a little bit upside in some places, but still many people are suffering from it. So maybe we're not having that disease in ourselves, but we have seen some news, we have seen something about it, and we have some reactions. So I have a question for everybody. So what was your first reaction when the pandemic happened? How was your first reaction when the pandemic happened? What did you feel? What did you say? Who did you say it to? Did you complain? What did you do? What did you react? How did you react? Okay. So I'm gonna ask Thao, Phương Thao. Can you answer the question? Oh, I think maybe she's a bit on mute right now. Okay, how about you, Shay?
I'm back. Sorry, I just had to have my own technical difficulties at my end. Can we just get back to what was the question real quick?
Yeah, no problem. So how did you react when the pandemic happened in the first place?
I tried not to pay attention to it too much. I didn't want to fill my head with all the conspiracy theories and all the misinformation that was out there. So I basically found out as much as I needed to know to make my business compliant with the law and make sure that we didn't spread the disease. But for the most part, I just tuned it out just because there was just so much hoax, so much crazy information going on there, all these people in panic stations. And I found it much easier just to focus on my own world, do my own thing, and just keep on doing whatever I could do while the rest of the world was shut down.
Wow, thank you, Shay, for your answer. I wish that I was as mindful as you was, to be honest. Because in the beginning, personally, I was shocked. I was confused. I didn't know what to do. My family has called me and, hey, you should be careful. Do not meet people. Don't touch that thing in the supermarket. Like so many things, so many confusions. Yeah, that was me. That was my sharing. Okay, let's have one more person to share. Imran Ali, are you there?
Can you see me?
Yes, we can, and we can hear you as well, very clearly. Nice to meet you.
Hey, I'm in New Zealand at the moment. I'm not sure if anyone else is. Is anyone else in New Zealand?
Just our guest speaker in New Zealand.
All right. Okay, so how I dealt with it, because I was currently doing a course. I'm actually going to be a police officer. So our course got disrupted. So what that meant was there was no more training. So I had to make sure that I was training from home, which was a very, very big challenge to try and do the same sort of thing from home, not having the gym, not having the support of the class, the tutors, of the trainers, and then also push through with all the academic stuff. So it was it was a shock to all of a sudden have the whole timeline of things that we had planned to start the year sort of come tumbling down. And all the processes, all the police recruitment processes got put on hold. So yeah, it was a bit of a shock, but then it took a while to sort of get going and putting things in place to work around it. We started doing the Zoom teachings over the phone as well, over the internet, calling, a lot of texting, a lot of, just online. So yeah, it was challenging. It was challenging.
Thank you. Thank you for your sharing, Ali. So it was challenging for all of us, I believe. So many things were canceled. We had to find new ways to deal with stuff, confusions. It was scared even in some places where there is like, how to say, some people have some kind of really negative attitudes toward a group of people that have some kind of assumptions. They have assumptions toward. Maybe in America, or even in my country, in Vietnam, they do have that as well. When Vietnamese people, they see people from overseas approaching, they might have the attitude that they want to get away. They want to block them. They don't want to touch, they don't want to talk, they want to be near them. So we were all shocked, we were scared in the beginning. And yeah, that's understandable. How about you, Kesha?
I was definitely not as calm as Shay. And so what happened to me was that actually the first few days, New Zealand started it probably in March. And I was just like, oh my God, so what's going to happen to the economy soon? It's like, what's going to happen to jobs? And then if I just go out, do I just touch the disease that easily? Do I just catch it so easy? And I do feel very anxious at the beginning. And I did feel that sense of negativity in me. And before, I used to be a person who is very positive, and I did not like that feeling of negativity at all at that time. but I just did not realize it. And I just really went with the flow of my thoughts at that time and literally consume a lot of also medias. And then when I talk to my friends and family, it's also about the negative news as well. So that was the first stage for me with COVID. And what started to change me is when I have a talk with my mentor, and then they just like, oh, so COVID happened. This crisis happened, and crisis happen once every 10 years anyway. This one shall pass, another one come, and then it will pass as well. And we have crisis 2008, and then even before that, and everything's now come back later on, come back to normal. So this one is another one. And so I start to get my struggle to be normalized. I start to normalize the issue that's going on right now. And then he asked me a very good question at that time. So at this time, you can choose your role. You can choose to be a part of the solution, or you can choose to be a part of the problem. So if you choose to be a part of the solutions, think of how you can add value to other people right now. Think of how you can make the best use of this situation right now. At this situation, it's so easy. Everyone can complain. Everyone can be panicked. But if you also go with the crowd, if you also see it here, if you don't see the next step, the further step ahead, then you always just gonna stay here anyway. So that's a good wake-up point for me, because I realized that in the last 1 week before that, I always just stay in the crowd of being the problem, like just keep consuming the negative news, spreading the negative feelings, and did not have anything. And when I look back, yeah, true, like by me being negative and then just talking about the bad thing did not have anything at all to anyone, and doesn't have the situation better at all. So at that point, I make the decision, okay, I want to be a part of the solution, and I want to stop spreading the negative information and stop spreading the negative feelings, and trying to think of how can I add value to other people and how I can make the situations better now. So
thank you for your
that's
answer.
my transition. Yeah.
So I believe if everybody can be as conscious as you have said about how we control our positive thinkings, which transform from the negative to the positive. If anybody can do that, then the world would be a much better place. But that's not the reality. So what is the problem here? How can we say yes to the new positivities? How can we change that?
I think it's really human nature that we focus on the negative part first, because before when we was cavemen and lived outside the house, we only need to look for like what is dangerous coming. So it's literally like survival instinct to like look out for what is dangerous and what is negative and pay attention to it. So that's always the first thing. But I think the instinct doesn't mean that we have to stay with it. Like we can be conscious about what is going on in our mind. So I think that's when mindfulness is really important. Like you know what is going on within yourself. So self-awareness, like what am I feeling? What am I thinking? And for me, a lot of that time I realized that the negative feelings that I have come from the negative inputs. So I learned about this cycle, which is really helpful for me right now when I reflect on anything. So inputs create thoughts. Thoughts create action. Actions create habits, and habits create outcome. So it really starts from what you take into your head. At that time, I really consumed just a lot of negative information, and it just made me very scared and anxious. So not only I got informed, but I really got engaged with that information. Like I keep spreading it, and I keep being really consumed with it, and just keep thinking about it and then spreading it with other people around me. So I start to change the input at that time. So I stopped checking out social media all the time for the news or reading news at all. So I switched me to get better input at that time. So I read more books. Whenever I just check out something negative, then I automatically plug on some good podcasts to feed myself with something positive. So it really starts from that inputs, and then I start to share also the good information. So so start from that cycle of inputs, create thoughts. So keep feeding me with the good inputs, the better inputs later on from books and then podcasts. And then I start to normalize that struggle. I start to like, okay, so this one shall pass. This another crisis happened, and it's gonna pass as well. It's all like if we see Netflix, Uber, Airbnb, they always born from crisis as well. So this is another wave of another big things going on next as well. So I start to have my thought shift, and then really from there it's starting about, okay, so what actions should I take? So it starts from, I want to add values to more people around me. I want to share more good message and asking them how they go, and create impact on helping to change their mindset level at that time, because a lot of my friends at that time and also family was also very nervous and worried as well. So start sharing the good inputs to them. So that start to create the impact and changing around me.
Thank you for your answer. So it's just really helpful to know and understand how we are facing the risk of seeing fake news, fake informations online. The negative inputs come from there. Sometimes the emotions that we feel, the scare, the confusions in the beginning, that's just not from us, but it's from somebody else, and they are putting those on us. And that might be from the news, that may be from social accounts that we are seeing on Facebook, on Instagram. So we should be really careful with that. We should choose our input carefully. I just summarized what Kesha just said. But yeah, really thank you for your advices. I recently have seen a new show on Netflix. I rarely see Netflix, but I found this one particularly helpful. It's called The Social Dilemma. It showed me how we are being absorbed into the Facebook. They have so many methods to keep us there with negative news that bring us emotions that we're gonna keep seeing those news. We just cannot get out. So it's really helpful for us to be conscious and to stay away from the negative input. Okay, so I have another question for everybody. I want to get answers from everybody in the room, okay? So during the COVID-19, during this pandemic, is there any new thing that you've tried? Is there any new thing that you have tried? Okay, I just start on by one. So Ali, what did you try during the pandemic?
I've tried, what is the new things? Well, I've tried running around the block. So instead of running around the track, I've marked like a 600-meter sort of track around my block, a very small block because we use the alleyway. So I've tried that, and it's worked pretty good because it allowed me to still time myself. Because for police, you need to run 2.4 kilometers, which is 6 rounds of the track in something about 11 minutes or so. I was trying to aim for 10 minutes. So I did that every single day of the level 4 lockdown we had here, every single day. And I timed myself. So that was something new that I was doing every single day, right on the first day of lockdown. Another thing, I got a job online. So that was the first time I've actually trained fully online and started working from home online. Never seen my team leader, never met my teammates. So yeah, two brand new things I did. And that was on the first day of lockdown when I got the job, which was really odd. So, yeah.
Wow. Thank you, Ali. That is actually inspiring to me because I've never tried something like that at all, to run and time myself like that. I mean, that's impressive, and you were able to endure that. That's really amazing. Thank you, Ali. Okay, how about Sharon? Are you there, Sharon? Maybe not then. That's okay. Okay, Tu, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, so did you try any new things during the pandemic?
Yeah, I did try some new things. For example, like making a cake, or like try running in my free time at about 5 or 6 p.m., which I had never done before. So I think it's a good new habit. And also I tried to apply to an internship in my country. And luckily I passed, and now I got to know a lot of new people.
Wow,
Congratulations.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
congratulations. Really, we're really happy for you. Share the good
Yeah,
news.
thank you.
Okay. How about Tao Gil, you there? Hello. Tao Gil, are you there? Maybe she's taking a break. That's fine. Okay, one more person. Shay, how about you?
Hi, I was trying to think of something new that I did, and it's not quite as awesome as running 2.4 Ks in like, how many minutes? I'm not sure, it was quick. I got into cooking and home decorating. I made a lamp for my room, and I probably know how to do about 20 different things with avocados now. That's the best I could come up with that was new. The rest of life pretty much stayed the same.
Okay, thank you, Shay. I think during the pandemic, we have seen so many people becoming new master chefs online. They're sharing new recipes every day. Yeah, that's just amazing. I'm not good at cooking, so I really admire people who dare to try to cook. I really admire. So thank you for your sharing, Shay. Okay, so there's a problem. So during the pandemic, each of us have the time and the energy to try new stuff. But there's the thing. How many of us actually able to keep doing that new thing, to keep that new hobby, that new positive hobby going? So Kesha, can you share your advices with it? How do we keep ourselves motivated and interested in the new stuff that we are trying?
Okay, so I think for me, really, like during lockdown, it's not really like new stuff that I did, but I adjust to do what I did prior to COVID into a different way. So instead of going to gym, then I just do my own workout because we have the streaming service with my gym. So just gonna do the workout at home. And instead of going to office, it's about working from home. And instead of going out and have a face-to-face catch up with friends and meet people, then everything moved to call online or messaging. So it's just a different way of doing. And I think if the essence of the question is how do we stay consistent with what we do, then for me, it's really come first to know your why. Why do we want to do what we do? Because I believe that even about being disciplined and being consistent, I think being consistent is one of the hardest things. Because sometimes I used to be just like, oh my God, like I would just work out for like so intense for like 1 or 2 days and I just drop off. So I used to be that kind of very inconsistent person. But I realized that to stay consistent and disciplined is about knowing the why I'm doing what I'm doing. Like what is the reason I have to stay disciplined for this thing? So knowing the purpose and knowing the why. So for me, it's about creating a freedom life and creating impacts and helping other people to upgrade their life and upgrade their mindset. So that's the reason why I keep connecting and I keep reaching out and I keep adding value to other people. So the first thing, know our why. And second thing is, yeah, even when it's hard, even when you're struggling, doing it halfway, come back to your why and then just keep yourself going. The second thing I think very useful is have a group, have a team, power of association. I'm a big believer in we are the average of 5 people we spend most of our time with, in terms of values, in terms of mindsets, in terms of lifestyle, in terms of net worth. Like just imagine if you're with a group of friends who are like so fit and then so healthy, then you're probably not going to really eat a lot of junk foods and probably hit the gym more or be more, I don't know, health conscious or more fit. And the same if you have a group of friends who really into personal development and growth and reading, then you also start to adopt that mindset as well. And sometimes on the way when it's hard, you have those network and associations to motivate you, to remind you And sometimes I have a lot of friends like that who boost my work ethics as well, because I saw them work so hard and I was like, oh my God, like look at these people, like up my game. Like, what are you doing here? Up your game. So, okay, know your why, have a group to motivate you. But I think at the end of the day, that's why it's called self-motivation. Like, don't wait for other people to motivate us to do something. It's really self-motivation. You really need to have that within you first, and don't really expect other people to motivate you. Yeah.
Thank you for your sharing, Kesha. So I want to emphasize a little bit on the power of connection, the power of association, because as human, we cannot always do everything by ourselves. But sometimes we need the help of other people, or sometimes that we want to be the role model for another person. Maybe you have a sister, you have a brother, or you have a son, you have a daughter, and you need to be a role model for them, and you try your best. And that's what matters the most. We have the motivation to keep on doing something. There's a story for me. When I was in Vietnam, I have a smaller sister, and she didn't really like reading books. She said books doesn't mean anything. It's just books. It's just words. Those are not actions, and she doesn't really care. And she said that I am not that great. I cannot read as many books as I have said. I don't have the consistency. So I tried one time to show her that reading books can be something fun, to me enjoyable. And I read that whole book in just 1 or 2 hours, I don't remember. And then I summarized the whole content to her to show that, yeah, reading book can be fun. And then she started reading as well. So that's what I did when I was a few years back in Vietnam, not during the pandemic, just to show that if we have motivation, we can do great things as well, even how small it is. Okay, so
and I think the good thing about your story is that it's about creating impacts as well, because when you do good things and then other people see it, then they start to adopt that good habits as well. And I think at the end of the day, truly, when we look about what is really fulfilling to me, probably also maybe same for everyone here, it's about when you see that what you're doing is helping other people as well. So yeah, who knows, what you're doing really matters. Your message matters, your story matters. Like, you might think that you are your own world here yourself, but to someone else, you can be their whole world. So what you do, your message, your story can really impact and change someone's life. So yeah, that's putting yourself out there.
Thank you, Kesha. So we have gone from getting the input, the correct input, the positivities, and that will become our actions, and we try something new, and we try to be consistent with that. And Kesha, I have a small, I need to ask you for a favor. Can you share with us, how do you plan your day with all those amazing activities that you have had?
Okay, cool. I have my calendar as well. So I literally just put everything after my work hour to my Google Calendar. So I'm okay to share. Let me just put on my screen sharing. Can you all see my screen now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
So okay, so for example, this is my calendar for probably we can see from September. Okay, so this pretty much I put gym is something non-negotiable for me daily, so it's already in there. 30 minutes to read and listening to audios. So I don't really put those in my calendar anymore here. But what you see here would mostly be like that I have business mentorship training, or I have catch up with friends or my family, or just some call schedule. So I think a big part of how to say, like, building your self-image is about making sure that you commit to do what you say you would do. So literally for this, to do this masterclass today, there was some call beforehand and there was some material submission to TCB team beforehand. So I put all those things on my calendar to make sure that I send them all on time in full, and then making sure that I show up to the catch-up that I told my friend that I would show up to on time in full. So just put everything in here, making sure that I have everything organized and come to the event or come to the call on time. So for me, the way I structure my calendar is really prioritize my time, because we only have that much hour in a day, 24 hours. So it's not unlimited, and we can't just randomly give it to any sources that we want. Like I become very intentional with my time in the last 1 year, and just try to make sure that I allocate my time, my 24 hours in a day, so that it serves me to reach me to my goal. So for me, it's two things. Come back to my purpose here: create freedom for my life and creating impact to other people. So that's why I really prioritize time with my mentor. So you would see every Tuesday here, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. non-negotiable, or any conference that I have with them, non-negotiable. I just need to go there and catch up with the team. So for example, after this call, you see here, like there's like a diamond crew training that I have, and non-negotiable, just have to go. And then the rest is I catch up with friends. So for example, this morning I did like a gym sections and have a catch up with a friend, and now in this call today here. So I think really we have 24 hours. Everyone have the same 24 hours. So it's about how you prioritize your time. So it's intentional and it serves you to where you want to be. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Okay, I'll stop sharing my screen now.
Okay, thank you. So you can all see the main part here is to have priorities, and we put enough time that we can prioritize that task. Not just doing it, we can actually enjoy it. So a story for me is that I do work out every day. Me and my friends, we bought a few equipments and we put in a room and we can all share it. And even though I just work out for just 30 minutes every day, I even put in my calendar to have 50 minutes for that. So I can have enough time for break and to chat with my friends during the practice. So it's just how we prioritize that. And we see what are the things that matter the most, so we can enjoy that task, not just rushing through it, but we're actually doing it from our hearts. Okay. And there's the last question for the main talk of today. So after all of these, we find ways to help ourselves. But there are people around us, their friends, their families, the people that need us to help them. So how can we help people? How do we motivate people? So what will be your answer, Kesha?
First thing, lead by example. Don't tell people what to do if you don't do it. People do what you do, they don't do what you say. So lead by example. Second thing is, you are trying to offer what you have and what you want to share, and that come from you. If you keep sharing and they don't do what you tell them to do or share with them to do, then I think there's no point to be furious about it or be angry about it, because you're just offering it yourself. Like, but if they probably did not even come and ask you for that. So just offer it with no agenda, no forcings. And if they take that advice and then they action on it, great. If they don't, to me, it's like, if I keep seeing people asking me for advice and don't do it, then after 3 or 4 times, then I stop doing it. But I think it's all about just sharing without agenda and lead by example. And one thing is that we can't give what we don't have. So I think that's why for me, for example, I want to help other people in terms of the mindsets and help them to uplift their life, upgrade their mindset. So for that, I read books and I listen to audios and podcasts to upgrade my own mind as well. So I think that's really important, that you can't give what you don't have. So before you want to give, trying to also feeding that source to you as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Kesha, for your answer. So we should be the example. We should be the role model for people to follow. And just a reminder for everybody. Sometimes we have that belief in something that we do so much that we might get into the pitfall of forcing people to follow our mindsets, even though they have different backgrounds, they have different experience, and they don't necessarily think the same way that we think. So we should be careful not to force people to do the things that we want them to do, but to understand how they can do it in their own ways. Yeah. Okay. So to sum up, we come from getting the positive input, we go to the actions, we find ways to motivate ourselves, we get a friend, we get a calendar to put everything in order. And if we succeed, we can try to help other people with their problems as well, because we as humans are connected in many ways. Let's come to our Q&A session here. So we'll try to answer questions from our application forms and also questions during the talk show if you have had any, and if you have sent them to Matthew. Okay, so let's see. We have a question from CVR Shastri. Maybe he or she is not here today, but anyway. How do you manage your second lockdown when the conditions change abruptly in New Zealand? Interesting, isn't it?
When was the second wave? Shay and Imran? Is it now? Is it this wave now?
I think we're still in level 1, which is like one step away from normal, and it's been that way for about 3 weeks from 3.
Okay. It actually doesn't really change my life much. I just start work from home again. But I think it's literally the situation in New Zealand is that the day before you're like, okay, go out there and do whatever you want, like go to work, and then the next day is everything changed. So but I think it's really the same situations for everyone here. So again, it's about event plus respond equal outcome. I am a big believer in that. So that event happened. So now what kind of response you would choose to produce the outcome you want? Like there's also no point in being angry at the government or keep yelling or protesting or posting it on Facebook or complaining it with your friends. Maybe just think about how you can take care of your family better now, how you arrange your kids now, and focus on solving that problem. And for me, it's quite easy. I just take my laptop and work from home.
Okay, thank you, Kesha. So talking about working from home, we have another interesting question from Frankie from Vietnam. So how do you prevent distraction of any source? How can you keep the enthusiasm of working with your bed and pillow close to you?
Okay, Frankie is literally my cousin. He's next door. So working from home, distractions, how do we manage distraction? I think for me, that's quite important that you create the environment that doesn't distract you. So I go upstairs and work. I don't work in my room to avoid having the bed and just sleeping. So I think it's really under your control as well. You can create that environment. But I know that for some people, they don't have their own space and it's harder for them. So I think it's about sharing. I think it's about you having to manage that with yourself. Maybe when you're working, then sit on a table, have a chair, for example, so it's less distracting. But yeah.
I agree with that, actually. We should have the correct environment, not just sitting on the bed with our pillows behind our back and become too comfortable. Sometimes a bit of discomfort can be good as well, to be a bit serious, to make our workplace looks compelling to us, like a real place to work, not just a bed. So yeah, get out of the bed and get to another place, another environment to work. That should be fine.
How about among everyone here? Like, do you have any question that you want to ask personally?
Yeah, our participants today. Do you want to ask anything?
You're on mute. Oh, okay.
Myself, I know I'm just talking. You can see my lips moving at the moment. I didn't have a question. I just wanted to say thank you so much for organising this. I have to take off early. I'd love to hang around for the rest of this, But I really, really enjoyed my first tasty cultural bite with you guys. And so I just want to say thanks. Great hosting, great presentation from Kesha. I really, really appreciate it. I hope to join you guys again and hopefully add a bit more value myself as well.
Wow, thank you,
Thank
Shane. We
you.
really appreciate you were really active during the talk show, and we really appreciate.
No worries, mate.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for making
Okay.
time.
No worries. See you
Okay.
guys.
See you in the future.
Carry on. Enjoy.
Thank you. Okay. How about we have Tao and Tu, did you have any question? And Ali as well, if you want to ask anything, or you want to share anything as well.
I have a question.
Yep.
Sure.
Like, if you have a lot of tasks to do in one day, but you're not interested in it, then do you call it max out your day, even you're very effective?
This is a very good question. So you have a lot of things to do, yeah, and you're not interested. So I think sometimes when I think about my work, I also feel like, oh my God, I'm so busy. But when I keep doing this, then I also start to ask myself the question, like, why am I doing all of this task? Why am I doing what I'm doing? And I think that's when I reflect to the point of, if I keep doing these things, does it lead me to where I want to be in the next 5 years or 10 years? So you can also reflect back at the tasks that you are doing now. And when you have the question for yourself, like, okay, if you keep doing all of these things that you're not interested in, is it important? Does it lead you to where you want to be in the next 5 years or 10 years? If it's not, then it's probably not really what is important for you. So the fact that you're busy and having to do a lot of things doesn't mean that it's progressing you to what you want to end up to be. So I think it's really important to know your why, know your end game, what you want to end up at, and have a think about whether those things would lead you to where you want to be. And for me, just an example, when I do my job, I'm so busy at work and I keep thinking about, if I keep doing this in the next 5 years or 10 years, is it still what I want to do? Answer for me is no. So that's why I have my own business on the side as well, so that I can free myself from this whole business that I'm having right now. But sometimes when you go to work, it's like you have those jobs and tasks that you have to do, and you just have to do it. But it doesn't mean that you have to stuck there for the rest of your life. I think if right now, are you studying or are you working right now? And what you're saying about now is it by your work?
I'm just studying, but like activities at school.
Okay. Are those things like extracurricular activities that you choose to do yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. When you say it's boring, it's because you don't see that it make any sense and that you don't see it add any values or have anything?
It really benefits me for the future, but like I'm just doing it because I know it will benefit me, but I'm not interested in it.
Okay. My suggestion is, sometimes if you've been doing it for quite some time, like 3 months or 4 months, and you really don't like it, maybe it's just not the thing for you. But sometimes it's really important that we understand the difference between being resilient and sometimes it's not that we just can do everything that we like to do. I think Oprah Winfrey, in a talk show that she has, she said that only 5% of what I do is actually what I want to do. The rest, 95%, was like preparing and learning and doing all the administration job. And the 5% you see that she does what she loves to do is the talk show. And that's really 5% of what she does that she loves. So sometimes passion is about doing what we don't want to do or going through the struggle to get what you want to get. But have a think, you don't have to suck up and keep doing what you don't want to do the rest of your life. So yeah.
Can I add something?
Yeah, sure. Please, Ali.
One of the things that I found really, really boring was law side of the police, because I really hate reading all these little sections that lead into more sections that lead into more. I really hated it. I mean, most of it doesn't make sense. So I think I'm I like the whole physical side of things. I like the whole investigation side of things. I love the people interaction, how to actually get people to comply with certain techniques that you can use, and all that stuff is all sweet except for the law, because you have to get and dig down into certain things. So I find it really, like, I was, up until last week, I was really resistive. Like every time I sit down, I'd start to fall asleep, or like just would go over my head. And then I just asked myself, like, what is the least I need to do to understand it? And then once I figured out the least I needed to do to understand it, to actually just get a pass on it, it became like I took all the pressure off, because I was trying to actually do it like the A+ A level that I want to do everything else for the same thing that I didn't enjoy. So once I took the pressure off, I found this week I actually started to like it a little bit more. And I started to actually find, okay, yeah, this is the I started to actually apply it in certain different situations that I actually like. So I think with study, if you don't like something, just don't take the pressure off, because you're trying to do it at the same level as everything else that you probably like doing. So if you just do, okay, what's the minimum that I need to do? And then as soon as you take the pressure off, soon you start to like it, because, you know, you're just putting that bar so high for everything. I think not everything needs to be done at that level.
That's so true.
That's what I found, what worked for me.
That's really true. Yeah, priority as well.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I think that, thank you, Ali, for sharing. I think that applied to me as well. So I'm in Japan and I'm learning Japanese. And if you have seen those Japanese movies, you might seen those Japanese words that they use really, how to say, really complex strokes to write. And it's not easy at all to me. And in the beginning, to practice writing those strokes, those letters, it was difficult. It was boring. Hours of practices, it's just really boring. But recently, I found a way that to enjoy it was I played music while writing it. And I felt like an artist just drawing, you know. So I took off the pressure to be perfect to each letter. I actually made it's like an art practice. So it was fun in the end. Yeah, so maybe it's just the way we do it. We change it. We change our expectation and the way we think about it, and we might be able to enjoy it. Yeah. Okay, so is there any other sharing or any question? Well, if not, then I think we just got the right time to finish everything. So let me share my screen again. We have some more information, really crucial information for you. Okay, so we have come to an end of our talk show today. And if you want to get in touch with Kesha, you can find her here. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, she's everywhere. Okay.
Yes, at me, people.
Just take a screenshot here if you want to contact her. I leave you 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay, I think you've got it. And if you want to learn more skills with TCB, if you enjoyed today and you want to get in touch with us, or you have friends that need help, then we're here. We are an open international resource for everybody to improve your English communication skills and global citizenship. And we have these classes. We got TCB Education. It's launching right now, so you can apply for your free classes, and it will be online through Zoom or any other ways that you prefer. And we'll teach you whatever you want. You choose the skills that you want to learn, and we'll teach you. We have a categories of skills, and you can choose to learn to your likings. And please follow and like our Instagram and Facebook page. We really appreciate your help from before and even today and even in the future. And if possible, please leave us a review. So in the chat box, I believe Matthew have sent you a feedback link. So if you can just quickly in 2-3 minutes, finish it, and we really appreciate your help. And yeah, thank you very much. So there's a link in the chat box. So please click it and finish it quickly. I will just leave you 2 minutes to do it then.
Yeah, I just want to add, guys. Hi again. I'm Gary, and thanks so much for tuning in and bearing with a little of the technical difficulties we had at the start. Don't really know what Zoom got up to, but if you could be as honest as possible in that link on the Google review form, giving us a review, a rating. We love doing these masterclasses to try and inspire people from people like Kesha who have gained really great experiences around the world. So we'll only keep improving, and thanks so much for your participation.
Thank you, Gary. So in case you didn't know, Gary is our CEO. Yeah, he's always here watching us from behind. If I do something bad, he'll get mad.
Oh no, definitely. Dart is our charismatic host, and he's amazing.
Thank you, Gary.
I'm not just talking about his hair, by the way.
Okay. So if you have finished the feedback or not, just keep doing it. Thank you very much for your help, for your participation as well. So to finish, I want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you, Kesha, for being our guest speaker today. We really appreciate all the knowledge, all your experiences and advices you have given us today. Really thank you. And thank you all the participants today. You were really helpful, you were really active, and I personally, as a host, I enjoyed every bit of the talk show today. And yes, thank you everybody, and I hope you all have great health and success.
Thank you so much,
Happy
everyone.
Happy Mid-Autumn Festival or TET Festival as well.
Oh, yeah, right.
Wow. Thank you, Gary. Okay, so I can see you guys in the future.
Bye.
Bye.